Believe that me and Tank could be the biggest fight in boxing one day. I think that if he continue on the path that he's on and I continue on my path, I feel like we'll be like the most exciting, most action-packed type of fight, and I feel like I'm going to win that fight too.
I wonder, Shakur is a quick boxer, a good guy, but do you think he would engage you enough that make it an entertaining fight? Or if you fought him, do you feel like it would be a bad fight because you'd be chasing him all night?
You know how it would go. Everybody in this room would know how it would go. You know what I mean? But I guess it'd be good.
We've got some electrifying boxing news that's sure to keep you on the edge of your seat. Rumor has it that Gervonta "Tank" Davis and Shakur Stevenson have finally agreed to square off in the ring. But here's the twist. A tough condition has been attached. Before we jump into the juicy details, keep in mind that nothing is set in stone just yet.
In boxing, I guess you could say, because of like the history and like everything that like went on, it's hard to even speak on it just because of the fact that we gotta fight. So at the end of the day,
you feel that's gonna happen?
Yeah, I know it's gonna happen. I mean,
from a boxing standpoint, what makes Tank Tank? We see the power, but it's gotta be more than that.
Nah, he's strategic. He's setting guys up. He's been boxing since a little kid, just like I've been boxing since a little kid. And you can tell, like, with the experience. Even with his last fight with Frank Martin, you can see.
I feel the same way about it. I look at Shakur as a pure boxer. And a pure boxer that can move as a southpaw, that's hard to beat, man. It's hard to beat. But when you don't have a lot of pop or you don't really mix it up, and you see a guy who can nullify your boxing ability, meaning can you win on points against a Tank without Tanks showing it?
The boxing world is abuzz like never before, and for good reason. Let's set the scene. Gervonta "Tank" Davis, the hard-hitting phenom, and Shakur Stevenson, the slick, technical wizard, have been circling each other for years. These two elite fighters have been trading barbs, throwing shade, and keeping the flames of a potential super fight alive. Now it looks like the fans might finally get their wish. According to the latest buzz, the two camps have reached an agreement to make this fight happen. But here's the twist. Davis has agreed to the fight, but only on one brutal condition. The loser must retire from boxing for good. This is the kind of condition that has the entire boxing community on edge. These two warriors are at the pinnacle of their careers, both regarded as among the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. The idea of either one of them being forced into retirement is almost unimaginable. But that's exactly what makes this fight so intriguing, so high stakes. It's a winner-takes-all showdown with the highest possible stakes. Not just glory, but the very future of their careers. Rumor has it that both Davis and Stevenson are already in the gym, training harder than ever before. They know what's at stake, and they're pushing themselves to the absolute limit. This fight, if it happens, could be a game changer, not just for the fighters involved, but for the sport of boxing as a whole. A clash of this magnitude could transcend the sport, capturing the attention of the mainstream and drawing in viewers who might not normally follow boxing. This is the kind of fight that could elevate the status of both fighters to new heights. But while the fans are buzzing with anticipation, not everyone in the boxing world is thrilled about this potential matchup. Whispers suggest that some of the other top fighters in the division are a bit nervous about what this fight could mean for them. The word on the street is that they're worried the winner could emerge as the undisputed king of the division, making it even harder for them to get their shot. The prospect of Davis or Stevenson becoming the clear top dog in the division is something that has a lot of people on edge. For the fans, though, the excitement is palpable. Boxing diehards have been clamoring for this matchup for years. And now that it looks like it might actually happen, they're practically foaming at the mouth. The anticipation for this fight is through the roof. But with that retirement stipulation on the line, some are worried that the stakes might be too high. After all, this isn't just about winning a fight. It's about legacy, about cementing your place in the pantheon of boxing greats. For one of these fighters, a loss could mean the end of the road. Imagine the drama, the tension, the sheer electricity in the air when these two finally step into the ring. This is the kind of fight that could go down in history, the kind that could define a generation. A win here could solidify their place among the all-time greats, but a loss? That could be devastating, not just for their careers, but for their legacies. The pressure is immense, and it's only going to get more intense as the fight draws closer. So when is this fight going to happen? Well, from what I've been hearing, the wheels are already in motion. The two camps are reportedly working around the clock to finalize the details. And the word is that we could be seeing this showdown as soon as the end of the year. Fight fans, keep your eyes peeled and your ears to the ground. This is one rumor that just might turn out to be the real deal. Davis versus Stevenson, with the loser hanging up the gloves for good. It's the kind of fight that could go down in history, and you better believe I'll be there, front and center, soaking up every second of the action. Don't blink, my friends. The boxing world is about to get rocked in a major way. This is going to be one for the ages. I can feel it. So start marking your calendars, because the countdown is on. Davis and Stevenson, one winner, one loser, and the end of an era. It's going to be epic, folks, and you won't want to miss it. Now let's dive a little deeper into the potential implications of this fight. If the rumors are true and the loser has to retire, it's going to create a seismic shift in the boxing landscape. Imagine the fallout, the shockwaves that would reverberate through the sport. For starters, the winner would instantly become the undisputed king of the lightweight division, or perhaps even the pound-for-pound best in the world. That kind of status, that kind of legacy-defining victory, would put them on a whole different level. They'd be a bona fide superstar, a pay-per-view draw, the guy that everyone wants a piece of. And let's not forget about the loser. If they're forced to hang up the gloves, it's going to be absolutely devastating. We're talking about two of the biggest names in the sport. Two guys who were supposed to be at the peak of their powers for years to come. For one of them to have it all come crashing down just like that, it's the kind of thing that could haunt them for the rest of their lives. The retirement clause has reportedly been a major sticking point in the negotiations. Both fighters are fiercely competitive, and the idea of being the one who has to call it quits has got to be weighing heavily on them. This isn't just about winning a fight. It's about preserving their entire legacies, their dreams of becoming all-time greats. And you can bet that the rest of the boxing world is watching this all unfold with bated breath. Word on the street is that some of the other top contenders in the lightweight division are practically salivating at the prospect of the winner being out of the picture, so to speak. It's a brutal, ruthless business, and they're not about to let this opportunity slip through their fingers. But here's the thing, even if the retirement clause ends up being a deal breaker, and this fight never materializes, the mere possibility of it happening has already sent shockwaves through the sport. Davis and Stevenson are already cemented as two of the biggest names in boxing. And the fact that they're even talking about putting it all on the line like this, it's the kind of drama that fans live for. Imagine the headlines, the endless social media chatter, the debates and arguments that would rage on if this fight was announced. It would be absolute pandemonium, a boxing fan's dream come true. And you can bet that the powers that be, the promoters, the networks, they're all salivating at the prospect of cashing in on this potential mega fight. But of course, with great reward comes great risk. And if this fight does happen with that brutal retirement stipulation in place, it's going to create an air of tension and uncertainty that we haven't seen in the sport in a long time. These fighters, they're putting it all on the line, and the stakes have never been higher. Personally, I'm torn on the whole thing. Part of me is thrilled at the idea of seeing these two warriors go to war, of witnessing a true clash of titans that could go down in history. But the other part of me can't help but feel a little uneasy about the potential consequences. Boxing is a brutal sport, and the idea of one of these guys being forced to hang up their gloves forever is a heavy thing to consider. And you know the fans are going to be just as conflicted. On the one hand, they're dying to see this fight, to see who the better man really is. But on the